Hi, I'm Nick Nanton, and welcome to The Consumer's Advocate, the only show where you'll find the top wealth advisors in the world sharing their secrets for protecting, preserving, and growing your wealth. I've got a great guest for you today. I've got Teresa Bear here. Teresa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nick. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And so tell our viewers a little bit about your background. I know you, obviously, but our viewers don't, so tell us about it.
Well, I'm originally a bean counter, CPA, went into the financial advising business, and really my mission is, along with my book, I want to help women retire happily ever after. So that's my mission in life, to make sure that they do that.
Awesome. So helping women retire happily ever after. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, you mentioned your mission a little bit, but one thing I know as part of your mission that we need to talk about is that as people approach this, what we like to call the retirement red zone, right? About 5 years prior to retirement or just after retirement, they have to start thinking about distribution of their assets rather than accumulation. And I want to make sure we talk about the fact that some people watching this might say, oh, I already have someone who handles my finances, someone who helped them accumulate their wealth. I don't need anyone else, but that's not the case at all. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are 3 stages of wealth building, and that's the accumulation, where you have a stockbroker that invests in stocks. And then there's the protection stage, kind of like a mama chick guarding her nest. And then there's the distribution stage, where mama eagle is watching the chicks fly away. And the person who got you there, who helped build that nest, is really not the best one to protect it and help it go to the next generation. And that's really what we specialize in. Yeah,
you have to have an expert on that, because when you're distributing wealth, there's no chance to accumulate anymore, right?
That's right. I mean, you've run out of time if the market goes bad to get it back. You're stuck with where you are. So you really need to be more protective of those babies, chicks in the nest, or whatever, that nest egg that you're building.
Absolutely. And the way you guys do that is unique, but I want to talk about the fact that it's what I would call common sense but not common knowledge, the way you protect money. And I think it's sad. A lot of people have never heard of protected investments where their principal is protected, because it may not have been in the best interest of their broker or whoever was pushing financial products their way. But you use tried and true conservative strategies that have been around for years, but they may just never have heard about. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. We use strategies to make sure that you have enough money to last the rest of your lifetime. I use what I call oxygen mask income planning, because if you're traveling on a plane and during the flight attendant, she'll give you some instructions, and it says, if in case of emergency, an oxygen mask is going to drop in front of you, and you're instructed to put your own mask on first. So we want to make sure that you take care of yourself, you have enough income to last the rest of your lifetime, and then if there's some left over, do some legacy planning so that Uncle Sam isn't the biggest beneficiary of your investments that you work so hard for.
That's great and absolutely true. So one of the things that I also love that you're doing, you educate beyond just your client base. You have a book that's coming out that's going to educate everyone who you can't reach and help.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about the book.
The book is She Retired Happily Ever After, and it's rather unique because a study of women found that a lot of them are intimidated by the financial books, and that some of them are really boring.
Shocking.
Which I can attest to, because I've read some of them. But what I did was I used stories to tell financial concepts. So each chapter begins with a story, maybe Jack and the Beanstalk or Cinderella, and I weave in the financial concepts through the book to illustrate the concepts, because people learn through stories. That's how religious leaders have taught for many, many years, was through the use of stories. So I continue to use stories to really solidify those concepts and make it a little bit unique.
So financial fairy tales, if you will, right?
Financial fairy tale. I call myself the fairy godvisor.
Very nice. And I know your son was actually involved with you in the book too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's awesome. He just turned 17, but he did all of the illustrations for the book. He did 27 illustrations that are in there that are for each chapter. We have all sorts of pictures of Cinderella and the Princess and the Pea and the Emperor's New Clothes.
And even Fat Uncle Sam, right?
And Fat Uncle Sam. So he drew all of them and get illustration credits, and he did a wonderful job. So for anything, the book is worth it just to look at the illustrations.
Awesome. That's a really neat thing to share, obviously, with your son. Very cool. Now, I know you've got lots of great stories about how you've helped clients. Would you mind sharing one with our viewers?
Yeah, one of the ways that we really help clients is because I'm a CPA, and I really look at the tax consequences of their investments. We had a recent client who came to us because they had an advisor for many years, and the advisor did a financial transaction, and when they had their tax return done, they had a really ugly surprise and had to pay a whole lot more taxes than what they were planning on. So the nice thing with us is that we know in advance what's going to happen tax-wise, and so that we can take care of them before that happens and try to avoid taxes. So if you'd like more information about that and our tax minimization strategies, they should go to our website and check us out.
Awesome. We'll make sure you give them that website in a minute. But before we do that, I want to ask you to do something that's going to be pretty hard for someone like you who has so much experience. I want you to distill that down for our viewers in kind of this one question. What's your best piece of advice to help people who are nearing that retirement age or in that financial red zone? And what's the best piece of advice you could give them to help them make a sound financial decision as they're getting there?
Really be sure and check it out and make sure that you're not in too much risky investments, because if the market crashes and you lose 30 or 40% of your investment, all of a sudden you have a whole lot smaller nest egg, and you're going to have to draw income out of that, out of a much smaller base. So it's really time to start scaling down how aggressive your portfolio is, get a little bit more out of the stock market, and make sure that you have your income needs protected so that you can live happily ever after.
All right, now, Teresa, after hearing all this great advice, I know people are going to want to learn more. You mentioned you've got a website. Where can people go to learn more?
They can go to teresabear.com, and you'll find all of our information right there.
Awesome. I'm sure they'll enjoy that. Now, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Nick.